Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live, streaming on X, YouTube, Facebook and Town TV. Proudly brought to you by our headline digital partner, Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender offering fast, flexible business loans. With less than an hour to kick off, it's already been a busy week for Town. A big win against Bristol City on Tuesday night, followed by an exciting new signing announced yesterday. The Blues have arrived at Bramall Lane with over 2,500 fans behind them, and all eyes are on Kieran McKenna's side as they look to make it 5 league wins in a row. Coming up on the show, we'll discuss Town's new number 33, Anis Mehmeti, run through all the highlights from Tuesday's win, and we'll hear from Dave Vann, who has made the trip to Sheffield to speak to some of the Blue Army. As always, we want you to get involved wherever you're watching. Send us your thoughts and predictions in the live chat, or get in touch using hashtag TownTV to be featured on the show. Hello Town fans, the Blues might be playing away, but we've got the home comforts of the Town TV studio here on a glorious sunny day in Suffolk. Alongside me, we've got Carlos Edwards and Alan Judge. Judge, I'll come to you first. We spent Tuesday night on the gantry. It was a little bit colder. Nice to have a game away from home, but still we're looking for a solid performance on the road from the Blues.
Yeah, I think this will be a tough game for Ipswich. I don't think it'll be anything like the home game where it was 5-0. I think Sheffield look a different team now. And knowing Chris Weiler's team, especially at home, they'll be ready to come after Ipswich. So I would say it's about dealing with the first 10-15 minutes, really.
Before the game on Tuesday night, Carlos, we had a little bite to eat and a little natter before the game got underway. And it was a brilliant performance from the Blues against Bristol City.
Yeah, obviously from start to finish. I mean, especially you come into the Portman Road under the lights. What better way to finish the night with a nice 2-0, victory? Yeah,
it was a great victory. And what we probably all weren't sure was going to happen was that the big news is that we go and sign Anis Mehmeti a few days later. Just what do you make of that signing, Judge? Because it's sort of come out of nowhere to a few Blues fans.
Yeah, and I think that shows how Ipswich do their business. They do it nice and quietly. Everybody's here on Tuesday, probably not expecting to see that. And then the next thing he signed. What we do know of him, he's a player who can play across the 3 positions behind the striker, and he's already got a lot of assists and goals to his name. So, keep the other players on their toes. Yeah.
We'll go into it in a bit more detail later on, Carlos, but it's an exciting time, isn't it, to come and join Ipswich Town?
Yeah, I mean, you look back at the last 3 years or so, we just not going and just signing players for the sake of it, but we building something for the future. And, signing like Mehmeti is, says volumes going forward, really.
Yeah, the transfer window is so unpredictable. 1 minute you can be playing against Ipswich Town on a Tuesday night, then 3 days later you sign for the club. Here's the first interview from Town's latest recruit, Anis Mehmeti.
Yeah, January moves are always quite hectic, but this has been there for quite a while now. I spoke to the boss, and the club speaks for itself. It's a humongous club with real high ambition, and I think it aligns with my values and what I want to achieve in my career. So for me, it was a no-brainer.
And talking about those conversations, you have mentioned that you've spoken to the manager. What do you like about what you've heard from him?
I think not just the conversation I've had with him. I think everyone speaks highly of him. Everyone knows what he's a world-class manager, and just his drive and his ambitions. I think they align with my values and how I want to constantly improve and get better every day. So for me, this, as I said, was a no-brainer. Not just the manager, but the club stature, and yeah, I think the club speaks for itself. Every time I've played against Ipswich Town, fans are rocking. So yeah, I can't wait to be playing at Portman Road.
Is it quite obvious what you'd like to achieve in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think everybody knows the ambitions and where we want to get to this year. Personally, I know it's getting promoted, getting automatics, winning the league. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help the team, and yeah, talking's done now. I just want to get on the pitch and do my bits.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to seeing Mehmeti make his debut. He starts on the bench today for Town, so maybe we will see that Town debut. Judge, is that a prime example of how quickly things can change in football for you ex-pros and professional footballers?
Exactly. On Tuesday night, he's running around here, running after the ball, and then 2 days later, he's here at Ipswich, getting ready for the game today, and hopefully he'll help the team when he comes on.
Carlos, it must have been quite a weird experience for him, because he probably would have known that there was a potential transfer taking place, and yet he's got to go out and try and do the business over Ipswich, and knowing that he's going to join them a few days later.
Yeah, but thank God he didn't score or something, you know. But at the same time, you got to be professional. You know, he's representing at the time Bristol City, so he needs to be very professional and, you know, give 100% for the club, regardless of what has been all the noise he's been hearing on the outside. So for that, you got to give him credit. And now he's a Blue, so hopefully he can do what he's been doing in the last year or so.
He spoke so highly of Kieran McKenna, as a lot of the players do when they join the football club, but he feels like he's sort of the perfect mould, Kieran McKenna kind of style player, like relatively young, 25, still got good years ahead of him and a very exciting prospect. And as you said, he's already scored plenty of goals and assists in the Championship.
Yeah, so if you look at it, you've got Philogene who's already got 10, you've got Clark who's probably got 10, and then you've got Mehmeti's come in, I think he might be on around 8 or 9. You've got a lot of goals there, and the good thing about all three of them, they can all play in any of those positions behind the back striker, so it's not a bad line to have, is it?
And it's that trajectory of his career. He's had a spell in non-league, worked his way up to Wycombe Wanderers, then he's gone to Bristol City. So the trajectory of his career is going one way, and that's what we sort of like to catch the players when they're doing that, because that's what it was like when Jack Clark signed. He had a phenomenal season at Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, he said it himself that, he wants to improve, and, coming to Ipswich, I could only see him getting better and better. So, full praise to him, because, you want to, like a baby, creep before you walk, and to be fair, he's hit the road, and he's really doing really well.
Yeah, we've got some stats on the screen now. 28 appearances this season, 8 goals, 6 assists. And what I quite like there, 28 shots on target. So he's averaging a shot a game in the Championship, where we know how difficult it is, Judgy, to get shots at goal. So the attacking threat that we now have, even more so than we already did, is there for everyone to see. Yeah,
it looks like you don't have to ask him twice to have a shot, which is good. I like to see that. Sometimes some teams try to walk the ball into net. I think this year, a lot in this league, you actually are seeing players shoot a lot from outside the box, because over the last few years, it's been a lot of trying to walk the ball into the net. But this year, there seems to be a lot of shots outside the goal, well, what I've seen anyway.
A lot goes on behind the scenes when you're making a transfer. I'm sure you've both been in that sort of situation. Carlos, what was it like for you when you were making moves to a different club? We were chatting off air and you were saying you were quite nice to say that you were worth 1.5 million at one point, which is quite nice.
I wish that at one point was going in my pocket. But at the same time, as I said before, you have to be professional in any way that you do, and whatever your parent club is, and whatever noise that you're hearing on the background, you just need to go out and perform, not studying what will happen, because football is a funny game, regardless of what. God forbid injuries do happen, that move may not materialise, but at the same time, you move from club to club, and you're just hoping that it's just a smooth transition going into your new club.
What is that transition like when you're making that move halfway through a season, Dudgy, as well as playing for a club now that are pushing for promotion and, looking for that automatic spot?
Obviously, he'll want to come in and, hit the ground running. But obviously, Kieran has different ways of playing. We've seen that with a few of the players that come in the summer. It does take a little bit of time. You could go back to Philogene when he came in this time last year. It took him a little while to get going. But look at him this year. You can see that the work that Kieran's done with him and the coaching staff is, it's been unbelievable.
And there's that added pressure as well now to hit the ground running, because he will need to sort of get those numbers that we've just seen on stat to help Ipswich with our ambitions and his ambitions.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell. He just needs to just be patient, buy his time, do what he's been doing. Don't change anything what he's been doing from when he was at Bristol City, because he's going to come into this club now, into the training ground, and is going to a lot more quality, a lot more experience, and he's going to have coaches knows his ability, and he just needs to go out and just perform when time comes.
Fans will be expecting players to hit the ground running, but as former players who have been in this situation, there's probably one thing that we don't really think about as fans is like the big move, the family, the kids and things like that. How difficult is it? Because he's coming from Bristol City, as we learnt on Tuesday night, which is a long way away from Ipswich, so that plays into it as well. So there might be a little bit of time of embedding into the football club.
Could be. I can only go off my time. When I actually moved to Ipswich, I was coming in from London because I had 2 kids up in London, so it does take a bit of time. I don't know his family situation, but those things do come into account. So Kieran, it wouldn't surprise me if he takes his time bedding them into the team.
Well, the big question is, when a new player arrives at a football club, there's normally an initiation. He's probably got to stand up at sing. I'm going to quickly ask you boys, when you joined the club, do you remember having to warm up the vocal cords, Carlos?
Yeah, a few times. Obviously moving from Wrexham to Luton, I can't remember what I sang, but I had to, because obviously the boys would have absolutely teared me a new one. And then obviously the same moving from Sunderland to Ipswich, and vice. But it's something just to break the ice. It's a good laugh. Some guys, honestly, they can't sing to save their lives, but at least they tried.
Judgy, what did you have?
I was Oasis. Don't look back in anger. I'm kind of a bit now where the players actually don't do it so much, I don't think. But I think you need to do it. It gets you into the squad. It gets you in and around the lads. And as Carlos says, there is some players that would rather pay a fine than it's 30 seconds of embarrassment. Just get it over and done with.
Well, we'll see if Anis has to do his initiation at some point. Of course, his final game for Bristol City was against Ipswich Town on Tuesday night, where Jack Clark scored a brace to ensure Town left Portman Road with all 3 points.
They're making Ipswich go wide. You really don't want them going through the middle.
But Kiyusta will attempt to go through the middle here as he turns and now releases Clark, left side, Clark into the penalty area, racing at Tanner! Brilliant! That left side for Ipswich Town doing the damage again! No Jayden Philogene tonight, he's out injured, but up steps Jack Clark to produce a similar sort of finish, cutting in, finding the bottom corner. Ipswich have the early lead. Brilliant from Jack Clark.
Brilliant, that's what you want. Kayus turned out, went wide, gave the ball to Jack Clark, and I just don't understand why defenders back off. The likes of Jack Clark, Philogene, you need to make the tackle on him. That's great feed from Jack, shift inside, great calm finish into the corner. Leif Davis making a great run. He makes that run 9 times out of 10 knowing he's not going to get the...
It's given away by Walton to Reese. Reese inside the penalty area, big chance, and Walton makes the save. It's a huge chance for the visitors. And now Nunez can look to set Burns on his way. Burns lifts his head, switches it to Adon. Adon has blue shirts round him. Davis there again, Clark up with him as well. Here is Adon, going for goal and almost finding the top corner. That was not far away from the Spaniards. Sheffield United v QPR, Sheffield Wednesday v Birmingham, and Wrexham v Leicester. It's flicked on to Burns. Burns just inside the penalty area now, finding the cut back towards Kayusta. It's blocked, and a loose ball drops from on, and somehow it's tipped over by Vitek. It's a miraculous save from the Bristol City goalkeeper for Ipswich to give it to Wes Burns, their direct right winger, to get at Borges as headed forward towards Adon, and Adon can shrug off Dickey, and Adon is inside the penalty area, cutting it back for Clark, and Clark makes it 2! Ipswich Town do get that second goal, and it's a second goal of the night for Jack Clark. Great persistence from Ivan Adon to set up the chance, and once he found Clark, it was a cool, calm finish beyond Radek Vitek, and Ipswich Town double their lead.
Yeah, brilliant from Azon. He's done that all night, to be fair to him. In the first half, he's been putting himself about. He's not been letting the centre-halves have free headers. Really good from him. Great pullback. Nice composed finish from Jack Clark.
Another great night at Portman Road, and there are a lot of Town fans asking what Jack Clarke's celebration is. So at some point at the training ground, we're going to have to speak to Jack and find out. Judgy, we had the pleasure of watching that game together, and you were on commentary and did a fantastic job. What was your overview? What was your overall view and thoughts on the performance?
You know what, I thought it was very comfortable. We're speaking about Ipswich upping the gears. That was a night where they didn't really need to up the gears. They were quite comfortable. They knew what Bristol City were trying to do. They looked nice in their own half, but when they came out, Ipswich knew on the transition they could catch them. And ideally before the game, when you're playing Wes and Jack Clarke, it was to get at the full-backs easily.
Yeah, we've seen Jayden Philogene dominate that left-hand side, and we saw it there from Jack Clarke, who's got a similar jinky sort of performance, and it just must be a nightmare for defenders at times.
Yeah, you do. Obviously, me and Judge were just mentioning it there. As a fullback, the last thing you want to do is for the winger to be backing you into your own box. And they, to be fair, Philogene and Clarke loves that. They love to run, and they can dink left and right. Sometimes you just don't know where you're going to go with them. And, you know, they just enjoy playing it. You got a difference when you with Wes. Wes is more direct. You know what you're going to get. He's going to battle you. He's going to smash you about, and he's going to just run at you in different ways that Philogene and Clarke does it. So, you know, fair play for McKenna for starting with Wes in that game.
We know that there's always a little bit of squad rotation when it comes to playing in the Championship, but when you score a brace and he's been in red-hot form, there's no surprise why Jack Clarke starts today away at Sheffield United.
Yep, and he, as I said, he's bided his time. He's kind of known when Philogene's been fit, he's going to play. But every time Clarke has come on, he's scored or he's made an assist. So now he's getting another game. He's got 2 on Tuesday. Hopefully now, can he do that away from home?
Yeah, we'll find out very shortly. Let's take a look at those goals once again from Jack Clarke against Bristol City. The confidence he must have now from getting these minutes and, you know, coming in as top goal scorer. Like, the goals are coming from our front three. He's been sensational.
I mean, he's so confident with regardless. And that's a good thing about him. Obviously, Judge said it. We got the likes of Philogene and himself could play anywhere along those front three in any position, and you could see the managers themselves trust that they can do it, and the fans know what he's about. He himself has an identity, because you're looking back, when I used to watch him play with Sunderland, I was thinking, bloody hell, he is a player, and he's showing it now. He's showing his class and quality, and, you know, he's taking his goals really well.
I think the big thing as well, Judge, we sort of mentioned it on Tuesday night, is that that's 3 points taken off other promotion, you know, chasing, playoffs, promotion, all that sort of stuff. And with Middlesbrough dominating today, they've won today, it just shows again how important this momentum that we've got at the minute, if we can carry that into the away form as well, we'll still be right up there.
Yeah, that's the thing. When teams come to Portman Road, obviously they fear Ipswich. So Ipswich want to have that fear factor away from home, which generally they have had. So it's just about picking up points as they come. Obviously, Borough have played, they've won, so now it's back on to Ipswich. The boys will be fine with this. They'll take the pressure on and they'll go again.
I feel for Ivan Adon, who got the assist there, but he was so close to getting that goal. We were saying that he couldn't even buy a goal at the minute. You just feel like one needs to go in off his backside to get him up and running. But it was a really solid performance from him, though, for the stuff that he did off the ball as well as on it.
It is sometimes you have to do the bulk of the work, is it? At the end of the day, I'm sure he came off of that after that game and realised, you know what, I've done my part. You know, he's assisted in the goals, and, you know, sometimes it's not about scoring. It's good to score. Don't get me wrong, because obviously you get extra boost. But, you know, fair play to him. He's battled. He's created chances, and he's had a few himself. He could have scored, but unfortunately, it didn't happen for him on Tuesday.
We said there was no surprises that Jack Clarke starts this afternoon after scoring a brace. But at the other end, Christian Walton, that's his 9th clean sheet in 18 games. He's currently top of the clean sheet leaderboard, which sometimes goes amiss. People don't really understand what's sort of going on at the back. But the whole defensive unit as well has been really, really impressive.
It has. And again, we go back to Christian. We've spoken numerous times. He's had to wait for his chance. He's picked up an injury when he first arrived. He was the #1 keeper when he first came here. Picked up an injury, lost his place, had to wait his time. Kieran's given his time again. He's doing well. Kieran's kept him in the team. And that back forward, you know, they look nice and strong. Leafus obviously might be coming out, I don't know. And Jacob, when he comes in, is, you know, he's unbelievable. He's been really, really good since he's come into the team, Greaves.
It felt like a game at home again where we were under control. I said it in the Blackpool game. Obviously, they're a League One outfit, but we looked like a professional performance there. We did it again against Blackburn as well, and we've done it again with Bristol City. This home form that we're on, I think we're actually on the longest winning streak in the top 4 divisions as well. I think it's only 4, but still, in all divisions, that's pretty impressive. This place becoming a fortress is only going to help us moving forward to the end of the season.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the fans know what's at stake. The players themselves know what's at stake. So it's only going to be a matter of time until, you know, the momentum just kicks in even more, overdrive, as they should say. And the players themselves are turning out week in, week out, every home game and just performing. Not always at the level that the fans would love to see, but sometimes you got to play ugly. Yeah. You don't have to. At the end of the day, 3 points is there to be taken. So, you know, you can't perform, 9 out of 10 every week because, if so be it, we might have won the league already, in that way. But, the players are really getting stuck in and performing in any way possible.
Yeah, it's been some great performances from the Blues. Right, Dave Vant is usually running around the fan zone on a match day, bringing all the energy. But today, in a Town TV first, he has officially gone on tour. We've sent him up to Sheffield to speak to some of the Blue Army ahead of today's game.
Yes, Curly, we're now outside where the players will be arriving. The Town faithful are obviously turning up in their numbers. We're here for an away day. It's Ipswich versus Sheffield United. Let's go and talk to some supporters and find out their rituals and their score predictions. Here we go. Right, Curly, we've got 5 Town fans here with us. What's your names, please, guys?
Chloe.
Steve.
Reese.
Peter. Keane. Obviously, we're facing Sheffield United here at Sheffield. What do you think the score's going to be, guys?
3-0.
3-0.
3-1.
3-1.
4-1.
4-1.
I think it will be 2-1.
Yeah.
5-0.
Favourite Town player, here we go.
Oh, Leif Davis.
Leif Davis.
Kipre.
Love it.
Jens Gist.
Love it.
Leif Davis.
Here we go.
Taylor.
We've got 3 more Town fans here. But what's your name, please, guys?
Bob.
Harry.
Monty.
Tell me your pre-match ritual for an away game, guys.
What is it really?
Get down the pub.
Get down the pub?
Yeah.
Superb. What do you think the score's going to be today?
2-0 Town.
Love it.
3-1 Town.
Superb.
That's a 2-0 as well.
And who's your favourite Town player?
George Hurst. 2 today.
Jack Clark.
Superb.
Probably Leaf.
Check this out, Curly. We've got 3 die-hard Town bananas. What's your names, please, boys?
Roman.
My name's Jack.
Josh.
Just tell us a little bit about bananas. I just got bananas. Tell why.
We just thought it was funny. It was either that or Mario and Luigi, but there's 3 of us, and there's only 2 Mario and Luigi.
Wouldn't make sense that. I do love it. Who's your favourite Town player?
Leif Davis.
Marcelino.
Superb.
Say Marcelino.
What's the score going to be today?
2-0.
6-0 Town.
6-0 Town. Oh my gosh, Curly, could you imagine the scenes? Score?
4-0.
Can we get a Blue Army? Blue Army!
Blue Army!
Up at Town, Curly. What a time to be a Blue. I love an away day. My score prediction, 3-0 to the Super Blues. Back to you in the studio. Up at Town, here we go.
Great work, Dave. Now, if it does end up being 6-0, I look forward to seeing those bananas bouncing in the away end. Bananas, brilliant stuff. Away days are so special for football fans. I'm sure that when you were playing, it was slightly different. But have you had the opportunity to go and watch some football in the away end of a club that maybe you've been affiliated with?
Yeah, I have. Lucky enough, I've been up to a few games, ex-clubs. Yeah, it's great. You're getting up in the morning, you're driving up or you're getting the train. They're getting the food along the way. Some others might be having something else. But yeah, you make a big day of it. You come out, you're going to see a good game of football, hopefully, and you just enjoy it.
Do you remember your first away day as a fan and what it meant and sort of realising the occasion for the fans? Because it means so much.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember, obviously, I was at Sunderland at the time, just coming back from injury, and obviously wasn't in the squad, so I said, you know what, as Judge said, make a day out of it. But it's mental. It's absolutely mental. You go in the fans and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, like, is this what it's all about? You're thinking, you had a few more than others, and you're trying to be civilized, you're trying to be professional, but it was just a great time just to be mingling with the fans and just having a good time, really.
And what was it like as players when you're going to places like Sheffield, and you can see today we've got 2,500 fans there. When you walk out and you hear that, it must give you an extra 5-10%.
It does, especially in the position that Ipswich are in. You've got 2,500 fans coming up there. You're going to hear them. You're going to hear them well. You know, Ipswich fans travel well, and they travel in numbers. You know, Bramwell Lane's a hard place to go, so the boys will need the fans, you know, giving them every bit of encouragement. And yeah, I think as a player, when you hear that coming out at an away ground and you hear your fans take over, it's quite good.
Were there any games that you didn't look forward to, Carlos, when you were travelling? Are there some that were just a little bit too far away for you? It was a bit cold, a bit wet?
Yeah, anyway up north, it's always going to be. I remember going away to Preston. It's like really, you know, cold, and you know, it's Tuesday night, and you know, I remember first minute, one of the defenders ran over my toe, and you thinking, oh no, you know, maybe if it was around the 60th minute or so, and you done that, I would have been like, giving it the hook me off. But you know, it's some of the games. But as professional, you know, you relish the challenges sometimes. You know, going away to some of the tougher games because you want to prove a point sometimes.
You must have scored for Town away on the road.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I think it was the FA Cup game, Lincoln, literally last kick of the game. I just came back from Ireland, so I was away with Ireland, and I flew and met the team. And we played. I played the game. I think it was the 92nd minute, and we managed to win. I think it was the first time they won a FA Cup game for over 10 years. I had no idea.
Unbelievable
yeah,
scenes.
And there was a good amount of fans there as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, do you remember the 12th night of September? Well, Town hosted today's opponents, Sheffield United, and we swept them aside, 5-0.
Championship football is back with a bang as Ipswich Town host Sheffield United under the Friday night lights at Portman Road. Ipswich Town, Sheffield United, that was a loose ball from McAteer, and Ipswich might profit from it. It runs through to Jaden Philogene rather fortuitously. Philogene into the penalty area and into the back of the net! Jaden Philogene!
Yeah, they were just waiting for Matchday to come back onto the pitch to get a full strength. And now they're getting after it again.
Here is Akpom, Hurst to Jaden Philogene. Philogene with a chance to run at Godfrey once more, approaching the penalty area, cutting inside. He's got Hurst with him. It's Philogene! Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant from Jaden Philogene. Last clean sheet coming in January against Bristol Rovers in the FA Cup. As this might run through to George Hurst, and Hurst is around Cooper inside the box, force wide, and it's through the legs! It's through the legs of Cooper and in! It is calamitous for Sheffield United. Can't quite slide that through to George Hurst, who was waiting for it just on the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area. Here's Philogene again, Jaden Philogene on his left foot this time! Hat-trick! Hat-trick for Jaden Philogene! And what a hat-trick that is! The roof has come off Portman Road. Zamare challenged by Matasiwa again, and Waller Egby fancies it on his debut from range from 35 yards. And Clark in the box now, and Clark makes it 5!
5-0 up and everyone having a laugh.
And that is that. What a night for Ipswich Town. What a way to start the weekend.
Yeah, an emphatic performance from the Blues against Sheffield United. You said it earlier, Judge, you're not expecting a similar game today. A lot's changed at that football club since we last played them. They've gone back to Chris Wilder, who's been a brilliant servant at that football club. So what kind of test do you think we're going to see today that's different to the one that we had here in September?
Well, knowing Chris Wilder's teams, they're going to be physical, they're going to get after you. So for Ipswich on that part, you know, in the first 15 minutes, can they be composed on the ball like they usually are and break those lines? Because Sheffield can be got at on the transition, so if they can just be nice and composed on it, because they will come at them. I can't see Chris Wilder's team doing anything else.
They had that manager bounce, and they're out of trouble now. They're out the relegation zone. They're climbing towards the sort of playoff positions, but they have lost 3 on the spin, 2 in the league, and they had that disappointing FA Cup exit. So is it sort of a good time to play them, or is it one of those, it's devil's advocate because they've all got a point to prove now to turn things around?
I don't think it's ever bad time or good time to play a team like Sheffield.
It's just the right time.
Yeah, it's just the right time. I mean, we're obviously on a good run. We can't underestimate them, regardless of their history in the past, losing how much games But we just need to be really at it because we know what we're going to get. You know, they're going to be, as Judgy said, they're going to be physical. They're going to be at us because, yes, they did lose in midweek, so they have a lot to prove. And knowing the Sheffield United fans, they would never be happy with where they are at the moment, regardless of what. They just want more and more. So, obviously, Ipswich just need to be at it today.
Yeah, and if they can get their fans on side, they've got a good home record in the league. They've not lost there since November the 1st, I believe it is, if my stats are correct. So it's one of those, an early goal, which we've spoken a lot about here at Portman Road, but if you can get an away one, it sort of like adds even more to it.
Exactly, as you're saying, we know how good their home fans are when they're winning and doing well, but we've played at Bramall Lane, we know it's like, if you do frustrate them, their fans can turn as well. Easily. And they haven't won, I think you said 2 or 3 games, so they might be a bit short with their own players, so I think it's just ideal for Ipswich just to play nice and calm, take the pressure on, and hopefully break those lines and get at them.
I suppose a lot of it as well, Carlos, we're coming into this in really good form. We don't really want to worry too much about what they're going to do, because if Ipswich do everything right that they've trained and work on, they know they've got the squad, they've got the depth to be able to go and win this game comfortably. It'll be tough, but we can go and win there. 2-1, 2-0.
Without a shadow of a doubt, we just need to concentrate on doing what we do best. That's performing, playing the football, working hard. Because at the end of the day, we could have all the ability. If you're not working hard and winning your individual battles on the pitch, it could be difficult. But we have the lads with experience and a bit of flair could go on and get the 3 points.
How do you think we go and get those 3 points, Judgy? What have we got to do today that's maybe different to the performances that we see at Portman Road with that fast start?
As Carlos said, I think this is going to be a physical and strong game. I think it's going to be maybe not the prettiest game of football. I think they'll probably look at thinking, we know Ipswich like to get the ball down, get it moving. Let's get in and amongst them. So it's down to the town players to react to that, win their individual battles, and then go on from there.
Patrick Bamford was a name that was floated around on social media that, is he coming to Ipswich? What's he gonna do? But he's a player that we know, and everyone in football knows, is a real threat. And we need to be careful, don't we, of a player of that ability?
Yeah, we do. Because you look back at Sheffield also. Sheffield is a team, they strive on like set pieces and stuff. They may not have the players that Ipswich has in terms of running at defenders and causing chaos and stuff. But you got Patrick Bamford, who is a proven goal scorer in this division. You can't really give him the time and space because he can punish you. So, hopefully he can have an off game today.
We'll go through the lineup in just a moment, but no Jaden Philogene, no Marcelino Nunez, and no Chuba Akpom. How much are we going to miss those players, especially Marcelino Nunez, who's been really dominant in that 10 role?
Yeah, so Nunes obviously has got the most assists, I think, in the team. I think he's up there with the league as well, isn't he? So what he can do, we know what he can do for Ipswich. He can find those passes, he can, slide people through, get them through one-on-one. This is down to the players now that are going to come in and take those positions. As Kieran's shown with Christian, they'll come in, they concentrate on doing what they can do, go from there, make that position yours.
Well, let's have a look at the Ipswich Town lineup taking on Sheffield United this afternoon at Bramall Lane. We're getting some live pictures now, but here is the starting 11. Christian Walton keeps his place. It's back 4 of Cedric Kipre, Dara O'Shea, Jacob Greaves comes in, and Darnell Furlong. So disappointed that Leaf's not in the squad when I first saw that, but I realise he's on the bench. So maybe this, Carlos, could just be a little bit of rotation to sort of rest Leaf for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Greaves been brilliant since he, came in. I was surprised. I was a bit disappointed for him. Going back to the away game, Coventry, he was outstanding. And I was thinking, he deserves another start the next home game. And unfortunately, he didn't. But that just shows you buy your time, you get your time. And when the opportunity comes, take it.
Yeah.
And this game here just shows the faith the manager has in him now because he knows what he's capable of.
Azor Matasiwa starts in the middle with Jack Taylor on Tuesday night. I believe it was Jens in there. We've said it every time. It feels like those three, the rotation between Jack and Jens seems to be happens quite a bit. It's normally Azor. You never really see Jack and Jens. Why do you think that is, Judgy? Is Azor just sort of cemented that role?
I think he's cemented that role, really, and plus he's more of a sitter, isn't he? So let's say, for example, Taylor and Kayus, they probably do a lot more going forward. They're getting into the box a lot more. But Mehmeti, well, we spoke about him many times. He breaks everything up. He's a dream for number 10 to have because he gets the ball, he gives it to you quickly on the transition. It's what you want. So I'm not really surprised that he's really cemented himself in there.
You feel like it's a big afternoon for Sam Schmodix. Every Town fan was delighted when he got his first goal at Portman Road. Then he found himself on the bench. He came on late on in the game on Tuesday night, but he gets a start this afternoon against Sheffield United. And of all the players out there, you look at that, and certainly from my perspective, I'm looking at going, I want him to go on and have a really good, solid performance because he's struggled with injuries at times as well as footballers, part of the game. But if he can get into the form that we've seen at Blackburn Rovers, then another great addition that we've got in that attacking lineup.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Blackburn, he scored against his former
always
club.
The way, isn't it?
Always the way. But yeah, even Schmodich himself, obviously with injuries, he's one of those also. Bit of frustration, but you know what? He was patient. He got himself back fit. Hopefully he's on the mends, and that goal could just kickstart his season, and he can get a few more goals.
I watched the game the other day with Scully when he was on, and he was sort of dissecting the way George Hurst was playing, and it was really interesting to listen to the way how he connects with the game, and then his forward movement and his running. A lot of the stuff that sometimes the fans don't see is the work off the ball. They expect goals, 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 and when it doesn't happen, it's why is he not scoring? But he does so much for that forward line, doesn't he?
He does, exactly. So obviously forwards are, goals. Everybody wants goals, but again, we spoke about it numerous times. George does a lot for the team, and when you're here and you see him live, you see how much he does for the team, how much he gets around the pitch. As you said, he's a bit of a battering ram, but I think him and Sam are perfect for each other, as in Sammy can score, George does a lot of the hold of play, so you can kind of hopefully see that link-up play that George had with Connor Chaplin when he was here. I think they could form a good partnership, really.
Yeah, it's an exciting Ipswich Town starting 11, but let's take a look at the substitutes. And the big news, Anis Mehmeti, straight into the Matchday squad. Carlos, he's probably got boxes and boxes of stuff that he needs to take to his new home, but he's going to be in Sheffield this afternoon. And one for the fans that if he does make that debut, I mean, Bramall Lane's a fantastic stadium. You guys have played there. He'll be really excited and keen to get on the pitch this afternoon.
I think you'd be chopping to bits, mate. You know what? He wants to play. He's come to a club now that he can see himself blossoming into the player that he's thinking that he could be, and obviously, hopefully, he can get on at some point today. And obviously, the fans already know what he's capable of, and hopefully, he can just get a nice, reception if he does comes on.
Yeah, no doubt he'll get a great reception if he comes on this afternoon. Nice to see Elkan Baggott on the subs bench. Obviously, he's had a few injuries and knocks and a couple of loan moves away. But how vital is the matchday experience for a player of Elkan's age, who's 22 now, I think, 21, 22. So he's at that age where he'll be looking for first-team football. You don't know if it's going to come at Ipswich, but the experience he'll get on a match day, travelling with the squad, the overnight stay and all that, it must be so valuable.
Yeah, it is. Well, Elkan was in and around the team when I was here. So,
he's a baby.
Yeah, exactly. But, I think it shows how much Kieran trusts him. He hasn't sent him out on loan. He's thinking he might actually have to use him. He's in the matchday squad. He's on the bench. I don't think Kieran will have any problems putting him on if he needs to put him on. So I think that's... Obviously, Elkan might think I want to go play games, but that'll be a big confidence boost for him as well.
Yeah. OK, right. That is your Ipswich Town starting 11. We can now get the information on the away team with our brilliant lead commentator, Glenn Wheeler.
Yeah, thanks, Curly. Thanks, guys. Well, off the back of 3 straight defeats in all competitions, Chris Wilder has made 6 changes to the side that started the 1-0 away loss at Southampton on Wednesday. Mark McGuinness, who spent the 2020-21 season on loan at Ipswich from Arsenal, is partnered by Ben Mee at the heart of the Blades' defence. And there is a lack of centre-back availability, with Tyler Binden out with illness and Japhet Tanganga serving the second of his 3-match ban after being sent off at Charlton last weekend. Midfielder Jibril Samare was also dismissed in the 1-0 defeat of the Valley, and his absence provides the opportunity for former Everton man Tom Davis to make his first league appearance since a goalless draw here against QPR on the 8th of November. Up top, Patrick Bamford captains the hosts, and he'll be supported by top scorer Callum O'Hare, who has 6 championship goals so far this campaign. In terms of the substitutes, Ki-Yana Hoover, Harrison Burrows, Tahith Chong, Ollie Arblaster, Tyrese Campbell and Tom Cannon all started in midweek, but they dropped to the bench today.
Great work, Glenn. Now, before I let you go, quick question as always. Town have obviously signed Anis Mehmeti in this January window, but my question to you is, who has been your favourite Town signing since you've been associated with the football club?
Yeah, this got me thinking, Curly, because they've done great business, haven't they, over the past few years? Kiefer Moore helping to fire Ipswich up to the Premier League. Liam Delap, of course, Omari Hutchinson. But I think from a slightly selfish perspective, and just for one moment, really, probably my best moment in the gantry, Jeremy Sarmiento and his lone capture for that 97th minute goal, of course.
Yeah, that is a great choice. Right, a real fan favourite is Azor Matasiwa. And ahead of today's game, he's been speaking to Town TV's Andy Warren.
Azor, first time at Bramall Lane for you. How much are you looking forward to the game today?
Yeah, we're looking really forward to the game. It's going to be a tough game, very intense. I think in the back of the head they know what we did to them at the Portman Road, so they will be ready for us. But we are in a good shape. And I think we have to keep going as we did the last weeks, and I think it's going to be a good game today.
Yeah, you mentioned the game earlier in the season. It's going to be a very different game today, I'm sure. How's the preparation been?
Yeah, to be honest, short, as we had a game in the beginning of the week. So, but we are used to it. We know what we did the last time and what worked and what didn't work really well. So we put also attention on this, and we know the threats, and we know also where the chances for us are. So we spoke a lot about this.
Yeah, a new addition to the group yesterday, Anis Mehmeti. Probably not much time with him, but how much of a boost is that to the lads to have a new player in the ranks?
Yeah, I don't know him really well. Just played twice against him. First time really, first game really active against us. I think is their best player. So I think the club made a good move to bring him in, and I'm pretty sure that he will help us to achieve our goals.
Thank you, Azor. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to hear from Andy Warren and Azor Matasiwa there ahead of today's game against Sheffield United. Azor sort of mentioned it there. I don't really know him yet, Anis Mehmeti. How long can it take for a player to settle into a new squad, being thrown in at the deep end straight away?
The minute he scores his first goal or he sets up a goal. It's as simple as that in football, isn't it, Carlos?
Yeah,
you just get in there, do what you were doing at your other club, and the boys will take you straight away.
And I suppose we've got a really good group in that changing room that he might know a couple of the players in there, but you can expect the skipper, Dara, to go and put his arm around him and go, look, welcome to the team. This is what we do. This is how we do things at Ipswich.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to baby him too much, is it? At the same time, you chuck him in the deep end, see what
Knocking
he's made
his door
of.
before you go to bed. You're right.
See what he's made of. But at the same time, he got a great bunch of lads in that changing room, so he will feel welcome. And it's going to be a matter of time until, as Georgie said, maybe when he gets his first goal or first assist, he might just get that,
And I suppose with his first match being an away day, it is quite nice to be on the road, because they would have travelled up probably yesterday, stayed overnight. So there would have been a bit more of that downtime to sort of connect and make those relationships. If it was a home game where they all meet, get here, go for lunch, come back, and then it's game on.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd imagine the boys were telling them, you got to get ready to sing.
Yeah.
I think that would be the first thing. Be ready to sing.
The glass clinking.
So yeah,
he's maybe on the bus checking to see. Okay, what could I?
The lyrics of Taylor Swift or something.
Yeah, exactly, something. Like
yeah, he's probably spent most of that bus journey sweating.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I would have preferred a home game if I was him. But no, he'll look forward to it. It's been probably a busy few days for him. Travelling again. So hopefully they're just a bit careful of him as well, because obviously stress mentality-wise, it can take a lot out of you if you have family moving them. You're coming to a new team, and then you're on the road again. So I think they'll be very careful with him today.
Back to things on the pitch. It's vitally important now that we keep the chase on with Middlesbrough and Coventry. Coventry don't play until Monday night against that other team from somewhere around here, near that way. Yeah. So keeping that pressure on them after Middlesbrough's victory today as well is sort of, it's don't say vital, but it is to keep that pack, because points on the board is what clubs want, but we've got those 2 games in hand. We know if we win them, we go above Middlesbrough.
Yeah, we just need to continue doing what we're doing. Let the other teams concentrate on their results and their performances, because, you know, it's not much we can do about, you know, how they play and what they do in terms of that. But we keep knocking on the door. The pressure's on them to continue winning, because they know we have a game in hand and we're just there, you know, just behind them. So they can't slip up. So the pressure is mostly on them, and we just need to just continue performing and winning the games.
Hopefully 3 points today, and then it's Preston here on Saturday, who I think they lost to, that was the Middlesbrough beat, didn't they, quite comfortably today. So they're coming off the back of a bad result. And then we've got those away games in February, which, have you, as ex-footballers, have you ever experienced it where you've literally just got a run of away games on the spin?
Yeah, you have, to be fair, because you've been lucky. You think, oh, we've had nice 2-3 home games, and the next thing, you know, you've got 3 or 4 away games coming up. So I think the one for them, obviously, they go to Wrexham, they come back, and then they go back to Wrexham. So it's a long old trip, but this is what it is in football. The Championship, the FA Cup games, you'd rather be in them, and then, you know, you'd rather be involved in them and then just playing home games all the time.
Yeah, it's very exciting in the Championship. Right, before we let you go, guys, we are going to get a match prediction for today's game away at Sheffield United. I'll come to you first, Carlos. What do you think the score's going to be?
I say 2-0 Ipswich.
2-0, yeah. Judgy?
I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1.
Ipswich, yeah.
3 points for the Blues, though. That's the most important thing. Right, a reminder that £10 match passes are available to international supporters in all regions. Town TV subscribers, you will have the full commentary from Glenn Wheeler and Ian Westlake. A big thanks to our guests, for you watching at home, and to our sponsors, Fleximize. We'll see you all on Saturday here at Portman Road as we take on Preston North End. See you later.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. It's this is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of like our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just ending passion and enthusiasm.